Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our November Money Matters Mastermind. Appreciate you guys being here. We're going to cover a few different topics today. We will require some audience participation at a few points. So if you're in a position to turn on your camera or to at least pop into the chat box, we would greatly appreciate that as we go through. First and foremost, we're going to do a review of our numbers as a market center, and we'll offer up an opportunity to answer any questions anyone has about where we're at with the business, any considerations of the market as it relates to the market center, and we will go from there. And then after that, we're going to talk about the importance of being super aware and super careful as you work through the holiday season as it relates to your budget and your finances. We'll talk a little bit about how sometimes when you get into basically Thanksgiving to New Year's, it's like all bets are off financially. And then the financial hangover sets in January, and we want to be able to avoid that, be aware of it, get into action around it, and then ultimately start 2022 from a very strong position, personally and professionally. So let's go ahead and dive into these numbers. As those of you who have been regulars on here will find that this is the same sheet that we rock through every month, and it starts with our recruiting efforts. So last month, in the month of October, we added 21 agents to our, we added 10 agents to our market center. I don't know where the number 21 came from. Added 10 agents to our market center, which grew our total agent count to 447. And we had 44 appointments to get there. So just like for those of you who are at the business planning clinic, we encourage you to track your appointments to your closings, get a conversion rate. We operate the same way when it comes to adding agents to our brokerage. So we like to keep about a 4-to-1 ratio. So 4 appointments to 1 agent. And you can see that we are right on there, and should be able to continue to see that rate of performance throughout the end of this year and into next year. All right, so now let's talk about the production of our agents. So in October, our contracts written were totaled out to be 418 contracts written. Now that is down a little bit from October of 2020. If you will remember, October of 2020 was the biggest year in the history of the company, and one of the biggest month in the history of the company, and one of the biggest months in the history of our market, Northeast Ohio. So our performance only to be down mid-single digits is really strong. It shows that we have a lot of agents writing a lot of contracts in a market that is starting to see seasonality come back. And we are up year to date in the number of contracts that we are writing as well. Finally, 215 agents wrote a contract last month. That's 51%. We're seeing that number continue to climb month over month over month as we add more agents and work to get them into production more quickly. So very, very important piece of the puzzle there. So let's talk listings. Listings taken. We were basically flat year over year in October, which is again strong, up 5.1% year to date. That's a very good sign. As you've heard me talk about in November so far, we had a huge start to the month in listings. And so while we look at these things monthly, and guys, just like all of you look at your businesses monthly, I hope, if you're not, I'm more than happy to help you do that. It's important to remember that, a listing going live on November 1st that otherwise would have went live on October 31st had the 31st been a Monday. You see these numbers smooth out. That's why we look at both the monthly comparisons and our year to date, because we know we're going to have good months, you're going to have bad months. You're going to have, but you want more good than bad so that you can drive a conversation with, or excuse me, drive your total numbers for the year. All right, so that is the agent production stats. Let's move into the financial information. So our total gross commission income for the month of October was up 2% and is up 17% on the year. You'll see this track pretty closely with volume. And we know volume's dictated by, one, the number of homes that we sell, but two, the price of those homes. And we've seen the price of homes continue to rise throughout this year. Then we move into company dollars. So this is the portion of the GCI, the portion of the commission that goes to Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan. That is, it was $285,000 this October, down about 11.5%, which feels big, but again, October of 2020, largest month in the history of the company. And then you see we're up 2.8% year to date. So an interesting phenomenon for those of you who, I mean, you guys are here, so you obviously care. An interesting phenomenon related to, our model as a company with capping is that GCI can be up, company dollar could be down, right? So like for us as a revenue capped company, when our biggest and best agents continue to succeed in bigger and better ways, the amount of gross commission income that comes in goes up, and the amount of money that our agents make goes up. And that doesn't necessarily always correlate to more money for the market center, because if you're a capped agent, you don't contribute anything on your capped transactions. So really important that we pay attention to that and pay attention to who's capping, how quickly they're capping, who's in the pipeline from a performance standpoint, to understand, hey, what's happening with the revenue of the company, because that ensures that we're able to invest in and fund opportunities for our agents. All right, and company dollar, that ultimately translates into our profit share. So our profit share for the month of October was just under $135,000 for the month we shared back to agents. Our profit share is up 16.2% year to date, but down 2.5%, 2.6% to October 2020. So really important thing to point out here, guys. Our revenue was down. Our company dollar was down for the month of October, 11.5%. But our profit share, the amount of money that we gave back to agents as a reward for helping grow our company, is only down 2.5%. So your revenue minus your expenses is your profit. So if my revenue is down 12, let's call it 11%, my profit's only down 2.5%. That means we as a leadership team buried our expenses in the month of October, are running a very lean, very efficient business as a company. And it's one of those things that as we continue to grow as an organization, we will continue to, if we have more fixed costs than variable costs, we can keep expenses down, grow revenue, and ultimately grow profit share, right? And, you'll see, you can see, if you can do math in your head very quickly, that, almost a little over 47 cents out of every dollar in the month of October went to profit share, which is, how's this? 48% would be if we had zero expenses at all. So we are running an incredibly profitable and successful business. And that is thanks and due in large part to all of the awesome businesses that you all run. One of the things that helps drive that profit share number up and offset expenses is item number 4, the partnerships that we have, right? Those are considered outside income for the company. This is money that the company makes to offset and pay down expenses that doesn't come out of an agent's paycheck, right? So we're able to generate revenue as a company by other ways than taking money out of your deals. The 4 partnerships that we have are our title company, our home warranty, our market service agreement with Cross Country Mortgage, and then our wholly owned subsidiary, or a portion of our brokerage, our management company. So for those of you who are like, oh, I don't have any shares in title, or oh, I don't have I haven't had the opportunity, I just work with small investors that don't use property managers. Know that when you refer our partners, like you refer somebody to management, or you use our title company, or you sell a home warranty, or you use cross-country mortgage, those things directly impact the bottom line and the profit that we're able to share back to agents. So our title company contributed over $33,000 in the month of October to our revenue as a company. America's Preferred Home Warranty, just a little over $6,000, which is right around a little below their average contribution. Cross-country mortgage, $8,500, which is through their market service agreement, their obligation to us on a monthly basis. And then Greater Metropolitan Management, our property management company, nearly $20,000 of contribution there. So our organization continues to grow. We are the #4 most profitable Keller Williams franchise in the world, due in a large part to the productivity of our agents, right? The number of agents that work for this company that are doing real business and capping. And then also these strategic partnerships that we have that allow us to grow revenue, fund our company out of things other than agents' paychecks. All right, and then closing it out with real estate data for the month. Our total closed units were 416, down about 8%. Still up year to date, which is the most important and valuable metric. Additionally, closed volume, 91 million. So pretty much flat versus last October. Units down, volume flat. That tells you prices are up year over year, as they have been. And you can see the year to date, almost 20% increase in volume on a 4% increase in units. And then our average sales price, just under $220,000 for the month, and $226,000 and change for the year. So that is the breakdown of all of our finances. Guys, at any time, you can go onto mykw.kw.com, access your reports, and take a look at our financial statements and our income statements, as we are an open book company, and you have access to those to hold us accountable and make sure that we are good stewards of your cash. But I'm going to pause here for station identification and any questions you might have. I know that that is a lot of information and a lot of me talking. So anything that you guys have questions about, or that jumps off the page at you, or specific to our partnerships, business in general, anything. If you have anything, you can throw it in the chat, or if you are interested, you can certainly follow up with me offline. But we're going to go ahead and kill the share there. And oops, wrong button. Now I just want to have a conversation with you guys about this, about, the next, what do we got? 42 days left in 2021. So let's zoom ahead about 90 days. Right. And we're going to have a conversation about some of our agents who maybe they're in the room today. Maybe they are going to watch this later on. But we're going to talk about what are 2 things within the first 45 days of next year that every realtor is going to have to deal with.
Taxes.
Okay, so taxes, you won't have to deal with it in the first 45 days. It's about the first 100 days. Think more specifically about your real estate business.
Oh, maybe the licensing. The ACAR dues.
Okay, so I heard ACAR. So everybody belongs to a board of realtors. Sometime between January 1st and March 1st, all of those board of realtors make you renew your membership, right? So we've got about, that's on average, a little over $600 for the year, right? And so that's coming in the first, within the first, we'll call it 45 days, 60 days of the year. What else gets re-upped in the first 45 to 60 days of the year? It might be due on March 1st.
MLS.
MLS. So there's another $440. I think you only got to pay $220 in March or in February, whenever it's due. But there's another piece of cash due there. And then, of course, as we roll into spring market, we're building that business in January and February. Folks are going to be investing in signage. You're going to might have to buy some lock boxes. You're going to be doing some marketing. Anybody who is on a subscription or not using KW Command, but using something else as their CRM, they'll have fees coming through. And so within the first 45 days of the year, our realtors get smacked with a lot of fees that then they can earn back throughout the year, but that are due in full at the start of the year. So that's looking downrange. Now, what's everybody doing next week?
Profit sharing.
Oh, well, you're getting profit share. That's right. We are getting profit share on Sunday. Actually, I think if you check, some banks have already even updated. Nancy's nodding, so looks like she's buying lunch today. Nancy, I'd love Chipotle if you could. But so you get profit share, but you're gonna do Thanksgiving, right? Gonna get together, and then there's gonna be, if you're like me, you're probably doing Friendsgiving on Wednesday night. And that means that you're going to be going out and maybe having 1, 2, 10 cocktails, who knows, right? But that is definitely something that kicks off the holiday season. So what are some of the things that are going to happen in the next 6 weeks before the year ends? You're going to have Thanksgiving. You got travel. Gas prices are up. You've got Friendsgivings. Okay, that's going to be dinner out and drinks. Then you've got holiday parties, right? Maybe you've got some church functions. You've got the holiday party with KW. You're probably going to want to maybe get, some, maybe a nice new set of heels or a little LBD to step out of the house in. Nobody hates a little black dress, and of course you might have 10, but you're going to need an 11th one. All right. And then anybody with kids or nieces or nephews or grandkids, you got to start buying Christmas and Hanukkah gifts. Right now, how many are there more closings in July or December? Nancy, I can read your lips. It's July, right? I see that you're playing along at home. It is July, right? So we have this, and I'm going to go to the whiteboard here, guys, and for a little demo. But what happens is we're going to have a couple of graphs, right? So this is the year, right? This is our whole year. And this is volume. And we're going to do volume in blue. Volume's going to be in blue, right? And so if this is January all the way to December, right? And this is June and July. That's our year. Volume goes about like this. It's low and then high and then low. Our expenses, right, go like this, right? So when you look at that little DNA looking thing, over here, you've got news, MLS, I say board and MLS. You've got marketing, subscription services, etc. At the beginning of the year. Over here, you've got parties, travel, gifts. The crummy thing is that this side and this side are right next to each other when this is the lowest. When your earning potential is the lowest in the year, your expenses are highest in the year. It's a really difficult thing to manage, right? And if you're on this call and you don't have a closing in December, you're probably like, yeah, no shit, Mike. It's really hard to manage, right? Especially if you didn't, store some nuts for the winter back here. Now, we can learn that lesson and we can do better next year. But what we're going to have a conversation about today is what exactly can we do right now to set ourselves up for success while still being able to enjoy the holiday season and not have to delay all of our gratification. I'm going to tell you this right now. You have to delay some of it if you didn't budget to ball out in December back in June, then you don't get to do that, right? Because we talk about calendar years in real estate. We talk about, what'd you do in 2020 and 2019? What's your goal for 2022? But this is a day in, day out thing. And your business is more important than anything else because your business is going to be funding next Christmas and next Christmas and next Christmas. And so if you're able to make some tough decisions in the next 42 days, right, the next 6 weeks and the first 6 weeks of 2022, you're going to put yourself in a position to by 2025 be able to do whatever the hell you want, right? And there's a few things today that are going to keep you in a position to be able to pay your board dues, pay your MLS dues, invest in marketing right before the market picks up again in March, right? You want to, you know what else is coming here in January? We have, I'm going to use a different color for this one. We have gold, right? That's $800 to take advantage of that opportunity. And it's the most important thing that you have that you can do early next year, the best investment you can make to completely change the trajectory of 2022. So let's talk about what we can do. Well, I'm going to use a dirty little word that nobody likes, is that we have to start with a budget. We have to start with a budget. And you gotta get real, right? As Dave Ramsey would say, you gotta get real to get right. So first thing you gotta do is look at your bank account, look at your credit card statement, look at your pending business, not buyers that you're running. I'm talking things under contract. Look at that. There are things that you have to pay. You have to pay your mortgage. You have to pay, your utilities, right? We don't want you shivering yourself to survival this winter. So figure out what has to come out. What are the non-negotiables? And then figure out how much money it's going to take. Board, MLS, and bold, it's $2,000. If you want to hit all three of those and smash the gas, right, to make your number for next year, you got to, $2,000 right there. That comes out of the budget. We invest in ourselves first. Then you're going to have some money left over, right? And figure out what you want to do with that, but you can't spend more than that. That's the first step in this equation. You get that number. So maybe, for you, you're going to have $2,500. Okay. $2,500 is what you're going to be doing this with. Then pull out your calendar. What do you have on the calendar? Okay, you got Thanksgiving. I got to drive. Okay, that's gas. It's 2 tanks of gas. That's, you know, a couple $1,000s at this point. Now it's a couple tanks of gas to go to Thanksgiving. You know, I'm going to do a potluck style. Boom, boom. Okay. At the holiday party, I already committed to going out to dinner with people beforehand. There's it's going to be $150. I'm probably going to drink more than my 2 drink tickets. So there's another $50. So I get $200 on that. Okay. And then maybe you got, we got drinks with friends, or, I've got to do, Betty's having us over, and I always bring wine. So I got $50 in that bottle of wine. I'm serious. You get down to how much are you going to spend to execute the things on your calendar, including gifts for your children, including gifts for your spouse or your grandchildren or whomever, right? Charitable donations at the end of the year, whatever it is. And you got to figure out like what can go where. And I promise you that if your calendar right now, guys, I did this exercise earlier this week for myself, right? And my calendar has more money out than money in the next 6 weeks. And so what do I have to do is I'm not going to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship game anymore, right? That trip's done. Just can't afford it, right? Because I've got a completely, I'm locked into a business plan for 2022. And anybody who was with us, 10 days ago, you are too, right? And the number one thing we can do in the next 6 weeks, the next 12 weeks, is protect the opportunity to do the business that we committed to ourselves that we were going to do. You cannot be where you want to be in 5 years if you can't be where you intended to be next year. And if you aren't in the business next year, it ain't going to happen. Guys, I worked in the corporate world for over a decade, right? Nobody started out my year asking me how much money I wanted to make or showing me a path to making more money, right? We have the power to do it. We have the capacity to do it. All we have to do is stay in the game. And the key to the next 6 weeks is to maximize maximize opportunities. Sorry, I was reading Allison's chat. Maximize the opportunities to have fun, but just, keep a governor on it, guys. So I took down a few things that beyond setting a budget that would be keys to keeping yourself financially above water throughout the holiday season. Number one is don't drink your wallet. Don't drink away your wallet, right? And for some of us, it's different for all of us. But if you're in this industry, this is the time of year where co-brokes, clients, friends, and family want to meet up for a drink, right? You meet up for a drink, and you're like, oh, sure, I'll pop in a drink. Drinks turn into appetizers. They turn into second and third drinks. One of my favorite quotes is by F. Scott Fitzgerald. First you take a drink, then the drink takes a drink, then the drink takes you, right? And all of a sudden, one $8 beer turns into a $50 tab after you tip out. Because, hey, got to take care of the servers. They've had a tough run. We're still in this COVID time. So you're tipping heavy. So meeting for drinks is $50, right? So just like you're very fastidious about the way that you invest your money, say in your 401k or in stocks, be very fastidious in the way that you invest that money and who you have drinks with or dinner with, or let's get together for appetizers, right? Because it gets dark at 3:30 in the afternoon now. Everybody's shifting into grabbing drinks, grabbing dinner. No one's doing coffees anymore, right? So if you can, flip some people to coffees. The next thing is if it doesn't make it into your bank account, it's harder to spend. So for those of you who have pending business that will close, if you don't need the money, right? You don't need, let's say you got a couple deals closing that is going to be $8,000 in commissions. And because you built a budget for the next 6 weeks, just the next 6 weeks. It's a sprint budget. You can get very granular. but you know that you actually only need $5,000, right? Well, email Carrie Mitchell and ask her to put 40% of your next 2 checks into your training savings. So then we set it aside, we earmark it for you, and when the time comes for you to pay your dues and for you to pay your pay for your bold tuition, right, and pay for the MLS, you've already got that money set aside. And you didn't have the chance to spend it on December 31st for a bottle service at the club, or for another bottle of champagne, or where all my money goes, which is door dashing Chipotle twice a day. But you weren't able to do those things because we had the money, not you. So it's just like you would tell anybody with with an addiction. It's if it's not around you, it's harder to do. So treat your money the same way and let us help you. If you have closed business that's going to close before the end of the year, bold, MLS dues, and board dues, tuck as much as you can away in your training savings. Maybe it gets you halfway there. I promise if it shows up in your checking account, somebody's going to text or call and give you a reason to spend it. And as we learned in the one thing, willpower is not on will call. And it's a busy time of year. It's a fun time of year. There's some scarcity mindset that slips in this year where, oh, I got to see these people. I haven't seen them all year. Oh, I got to get them something. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. And you start doing and doing and doing. And doing means spending a lot of the time. So number 1, set a budget. Number 2, be careful about meeting people for drinks because 1 beer turns into a $50 tab. Number 3, use training savings to protect yourself from yourself. Number 4, watch out for Black Friday. We're a week away, guys. But I'm telling you, as somebody who sat behind the desk for retail companies, you're not saving money if you're spending money. I want to be really clear about that. The whole thing is designed to get the money out of your wallet into mine when I worked in retail. And if it means that the TV has never been cheaper, or that the purse you wanted, or the boots that you wanted, or the jeans that you wanted, or for me, it was always another flannel shirt or white shirt. That was a joke. It's always a white shirt. Then, and it's like, oh, but I'll just buy it then, right? You and I both know you don't just go buy what you need, or even just the few things that you want for Black Friday. Because there are these things called doorbusters, right? In retail, we put out doorbusters. It's a TV for $100. Don't care if I make money on that TV whatsoever. I just want your feet on the floor in my store. Because once you're in there, you buy the TV and you buy something else. And you buy something else. Like the level of analytics that go into this, guys, would blow your mind. It's called cart analysis. You get the doorbuster item, you typically end up with 2 to 3 more items. I promise you weren't intending to buy them. So you got a couple of options here. You could set a Black Friday budget for yourself. You could skip Black Friday altogether. You could, find an accountability partner who is going to buy you the things that you want on Black Friday so you don't have to shop and you still get what you need, right? Make your problem somebody else's problem, right? So Polly, you could say to Nancy, I really want this TV. I don't trust myself to only buy this TV. I'm going to give you this $250 for the TV and just get me the TV and we won't talk about it. And then you get a TV for $250 and you just passed all of the challenge to get in and get out with just a TV on to Nancy. And Nancy is going to be held accountable by Marty, so everything works out. But guys, it seems silly, right? Because it's like, oh, but if I bought that TV, in 6 months, I'd be paying more. Well, I don't know. You need the TV in 6 months. Also, where's your income and your expenses 6 months from now? Right? You have the money 6 months from right now. You have to adopt the mindset, which will lead to the behaviors that you don't have the money right now. Right? That's 2022's money. So that's the fourth thing. And then the final one that I had was, this kind of ties into like the going out for dinner and drinks and all that. But whenever you have the opportunity, whether it's with friends or family or past clients, and people want to meet for drinks or meet for dinner, let's go old school here, right? I know we've spent the last 18 months fighting a pandemic and being in our houses, but long lost is the art of hosting, right? And 2 cocktails at a swanky bar downtown costs as much as an entire bottle of booze at the liquor store, right? Your appetizers at that same restaurant costs as much as a pound of filet mignon, right? So bring it in the house, right? And then this will also help you edit who you spend time with. If you don't want them to come over to your house, why the hell would you get together with them somewhere else, right? Now really think about that. Now, if you want to go out and have drinks and have fun, that's fine. Just know the impact on your budget. But if you bring people into your home, you save money and it's more fun, right? Having a couple drinks, having appetizers, you bring a few people over, do a potluck, right? Have family game night, bring the kids over, put them in the basement, whatever. Like there's a million different things that you can do. The convenience of just going out and paying somebody else to cook your food and stir your drink is there, right? But does that convenience today help you build a business tomorrow? And guys, I know I'm not asking you to deny yourself funds. You do not have to live like a monk, right? But a few small tweaks could put hundreds, if not thousands of dollars back into your pocket, which protects your ability to accelerate your business at the start of next year, right? All of this business that happens here in the middle of the year is acquired back here. Mind share leads to market share, right? You don't invest in your business in the middle of peak season, right? Because everybody who's going to do something is going to do it with somebody that they already know. Yeah, you could probably pick up a couple things here and there, a couple pieces of business. But if you make the investments here in prospecting and marketing for lead generation, this gets higher, right? It's hard to build a bigger business by making January, February, and December bigger. Your bigger business always comes by getting more money in the middle. And then that will then force you to create systems that allow you to generate more business year round. But right now, guys, we're fighting through the next 6 weeks to have the opportunity to do the things in the first 6 weeks of 2022, which make it your best year ever. So those are my top 5 things that you can do. 1, set a budget. 2, don't drink your wallet. 3, leverage training savings. 4, watch out for Black Friday, and I'll even say Christmas sales. And then 5, bring it back, bring it home, right? Let's do the potlucks. Let's make hosting a cool thing again. Come on over, pop by for drinks, or we're going to do a potluck instead of all going out to dinner on Saturday night. We'll host, blah, 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 right? I promise you, you'll have more fun. I promise you, you'll save money. And I promise you that what you do through the end of this year is going to dictate what you're able to do at the start of next year. Questions, comments, concerns, responses, remarks? What time, Allison asks, should everybody be at Mike's this evening? Well, you're welcome. I will. I've got my last appointment at 6 o'clock tonight, and which will put me home probably close to 7. And I got to tell you, it's nothing but root beer schnapps and Busch Light. So if you're cool with that, I'm cool with that. You come over, we'll have one. We'll play gin. I don't have any board games. It's all card games. So if you're not entertained by that, you're not going to be entertained. So see you around 7:30, Allison. Guys, we're able to, we can do whatever we want with these Money Matter Masterminds. We can reiterate things in upcoming sales meetings, but give me some reactions. What jumped out at you? Any ahas? Anything that you're like, I need to do that? Like anything that you liked, or was it, just an easy way to pass a commute listening to my silky smooth baritone voice?
Can't believe this is my first Money Matters Mastermind.
Yep.
I definitely like the tips on the holiday shopping. And don't drink your wallet was definitely a personal attack on me.
It was autobiographical. It was me. I'm trying to talk myself into the right behavior.
Yes, I love it.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad to have you here. Glad that you had some takeaways. And if anybody needs an accountability buddy on any of this, I'm here for that. All right. Gail says, always good to remind us about holiday spending. Guys, I can't stress enough, man. The best thing you can do is take your credit card on Wednesday of next week and pour a glass of water about 80% full, and then take that credit card and drop it in the glass of water, and then put that glass in the freezer. If you need to use that credit card for anything over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, it's got to be important enough for you to take it out, let it sit in the sink, and thaw out. Because the opportunities for you to buy something right now, the opportunities for you to go, dash out for a quick drink or get out of the house because your family's driving you nuts, like that costs money. You have to realize that costs money. And so you have to decide, is it worth waiting 4 hours for my credit card to thaw out so I can go buy that stupid TV, or should I just leave it in the freezer? And I mean, I've done this before, right? Even if you take it out, a couple hours go by, you start watching some stupid Hallmark movie, and you realize, I'm watching movies on TV right now. I'm fine. Right? And that cup goes back in the freezer before it thaws out. So that is, if you really don't trust yourself, which we've all been there, at least I know I have, freeze your credit card. Because Lord knows nobody carries any cash anymore. So you're not going to be able to go pay cash for anything. And you just, you give yourself another hurdle, right? It's all about creating an environment where it's easier to make the right decisions, harder to make the wrong ones. All right. Allison says, one of the first masterminds I had, Carrie split my commissions. Game changer for the savings account. Pay yourself first. Absolutely. Guys, and we're having this conversation in November, but you could just as easily squirrel away the $2,000 that you're going to need for 2023 in March of 2022. And then you don't have to worry about it, right? If you're not in a good financial position to maximize your holiday season this year, that's fine. It might not be a 10 out of 10, but what are the things that you can do in January, February, March, April, May, June, July that allow you to live life lavish in December of 2022, right? How do you have a decadent December? You got to have a really productive start to the year. All right. And Carrie says, If you want us to deposit commissions in 2 separate accounts, let me know. Guys, we've got some agents who have 4 and 5 different accounts. They put this much in their training savings. They put this 30% account so that they have their taxes when the taxes are due. Then they have a 10% account that they get to do whatever they want with. And then the 30%, the remaining 30% goes ahead and it goes into their checking account, right? And then they can spend whatever hits the checking account. And that way, if you want more money, you got to sell more houses. And then you're in the best place to help you do that, which is with us.
Honestly, I think that's a great idea. I always have a separate account that we put money into throughout the year so I can budget for the next year. Like, yeah. So this year was a really rough year with a lot of personal stuff in my life that was very financially draining with my family, as you know. Mm-hmm. And literally, I wish that I'd have had that separate account for taxes with Carrie, because it was very easy as my mindset, like, oh, I can just pull it out for my sister. Oh, I could just pull it out for my dad. You know, it was never for me. It was always for someone else. But I would have never had that mindset. And did they really need it? I think we could have thought of something else. You know what I mean? Yep. But if I'd have had that with Carrie, that would have been a game changer for me this year. So that's what I gleaned from this meeting today. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, it's all about setting yourself up for success. And there are, and success in real estate comes over time. We know that, right? If you're 5th year in the industry, you've got more opportunities than your 1st year in the industry, just by the nature of people's timelines and the relationships that you'll make. The number one way to make a lot of money in real estate is to stay in real estate longer amount of time. So you got to dodge a few of the things that typically knock realtors out. Number one is taxes, right? I hate paying them as much as you do, but if you don't plan to pay them, you can't be a realtor anymore, right? And then it's board dues and it's MLS dues, which, you know, compared to the taxes that you have to pay seems small, but guys, it's all about when it shows up, right? You pay your taxes here. There's a lot of people who work the first 5 or 6 months of the year to be able to pay their taxes from last year. It's tough, but it's true. And our goal here is to help you plan for those standard pitfalls, to do anything and everything we can to make it hard, right? We can't make success easy, but we'll work damn diligently to make failure hard, right? Because if you stay in the game, you're going to score points. All right, guys, we're getting close to the top of the hour here. I am thrilled to have you all with me, and so excited that we were able to do. We're excited that we were able to deliver this to you. If you know anybody who needs this, you know, this is going to be posted on our Facebook, or not our Facebook, but our YouTube page. And so anybody can go watch this, and they don't have to be a realtor, right? These concepts apply to anybody who's got anything where, oh, I'm spending money into November, December, January, and February, you know, I mean, it applies to everybody. So share it out to anybody you care, or any real estate agency you think this would be helpful for you guys, because, you know, we want good people to remain in the industry, and this is a way for us to help them. So thank you all so much, and we will see you on the other side of an amazing Thanksgiving holiday. So grateful for all of you. Thank you for the folks who made it to the gratitude gatherings. Those were a ton of fun, and we will see you on the cusp of December. Our next time we're together is November 30th for our last sales meeting of the month. Thanks so much, guys. Have an awesome weekend and holiday week next week. See you soon.